Celtic 1-0 St Mirren, McCowan last-minute winner 4 Woodwork hits, Scottish Premiership 25-26. In a nail-biting start to the Scottish Premiership season, Celtic managed to scrape through with a hard-fought 1-0 victory over St Mirren. The match was anything but straightforward for Brendan Rodgers' side, who were left frustrated time and again as they struck the woodwork no fewer than 4 times at Celtic Park. It's worth pausing here to reflect on just how consistent the reigning champions have been in recent years. This marks the 17th time in 18 seasons that they've won their opening league game. Yet, despite this impressive streak, the performance against St Mirren was far from dominant, and this is where it gets interesting. Even when Celtic aren't firing on all cylinders, they somehow find a way to grind out results. But should we expect nothing less from a team of their caliber? Or are cracks starting to show under the surface? The drama unfolded in waves throughout the match. With about 20 minutes left on the clock, Callum McGregor thought he'd finally broken the deadlock with a stunning finish. However, after a quick VAR review, the goal was disallowed due to an unfortunate handball, a decision that left fans groaning in disbelief. It felt like one of those days where luck simply wasn't on Celtic's side. Rio Hatate came agonizingly close moments later, hitting the post twice in quick succession before Adam Ida rattled the upright too. At this point, you couldn't blame anyone for thinking it might not be their day. But then enter Luke McCowan. Introduced as a substitute late in the game, McCowan proved once again why he's often relied upon to deliver in clutch situations. Barely 10 minutes into his appearance, he unleashed a shot that took a hefty deflection, wrong-footing goalkeeper Shamal George and nestling into the bottom corner. Cue scenes of relief mixed with jubilation among the home supporters. For Celtic, it was another example of digging deep and finding that elusive winner, a hallmark of their dominance in Scottish football. Before kickoff, there was a celebratory air around Celtic Park as captain Callum McGregor carried the Scottish Premiership trophy onto the pitch, commemorating Celtic's 4th consecutive title triumph last season. Club legend Paul McStay then raised the championship flag, drawing thunderous applause from the crowd. These moments served as a reminder of the high standards expected at this club, but also set the stage for what turned out to be a surprisingly gritty encounter. For context, Celtic had utterly dominated St Mirren during their previous 3 meetings last season, scoring 11 goals in total, while securing comfortable victories each time. Even so, the Buddies had managed to hold them to a 1-1 draw on the final day of the campaign, a result that hinted at their potential to frustrate again. Fast forward to this season's opener, and Daizen Maeda squandered a glorious opportunity early on when he rounded George only to fail to find a teammate inside the box. It was a moment that encapsulated Celtic's struggles in front of goal during this match. As the first half drew to a close, debutant Benjamin Nygren almost opened the scoring with a well-struck effort following a clever pullback by Maeda. Goalkeeper George, however, pulled off a superb save, tipping the ball onto the crossbar. This theme of near misses continued into the second half, leaving both sets of fans on edge. Post-match reactions painted contrasting pictures. Sky Sports pundit Kris praised Celtic's resilience, but questioned whether their overall display was up to scratch. Celtic won the game, but that performance was nowhere near where it needs to be, he remarked. You're accustomed to seeing Celtic dismantle teams, yet today they labored. That said, credit to McCowan, he does it so often, coming off the bench to make an impact. Meanwhile, Brendan Rodgers expressed pride in his players' persistence despite acknowledging room for improvement. We played ever so well, he stated, highlighting the quality of opposition and the challenges posed by St Mirren's disciplined setup. Our football was outstanding at times, and I must commend the lads for keeping going until the very end. That hunger defines this club. We never settle for a draw. When asked about potential transfers, Rodgers remained coy, emphasizing focus on the current squad while hinting at possible activity before the window closes. On the other side of the dugout, St Mirren boss Stephen Robinson lamented the cruel nature of the decisive goal. It's tough to swallow because our performance level was solid, he explained. "We knew Celtic would bring energy and fresh legs off the bench, and we tried to respond accordingly. To concede via a deflected goal feels harsh, especially since we felt competitive throughout the game." He added that his team views matches against giants like Celtic not as free hits, but as opportunities to prove themselves, and they believe they did exactly that. So what do you think? Was this narrow win a sign of Celtic's enduring grit, or evidence that they're vulnerable this season? Should St Mirren take heart from their spirited showing, or is it simply another loss in a long line of battles against the league leaders? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your take. Looking ahead, both teams will be eager to build momentum in the Scottish Premiership. For fixture lists and updates, check out the links below. Celtic fixtures, *10T www.skysports.com, send files. St Mirren fixtures, skysports.com/St Mirren scores fixtures. Scottish Premiership fixtures. https://www.skysports.com/Scottish Premier scores fixtures. Scottish Premiership highlights. Celtic's last-minute win, Hibernian's triumph. In the high-stakes drama of the Scottish Premiership, every match is a battle of nerves, strategy, and sheer willpower. This weekend's fixtures delivered all three, with late winners, tactical chess moves, and a few surprises that left fans buzzing. Let's break down the key takeaways. And trust us, the twists are worth the read. Celtic's late drama, a lesson in perseverance. Imagine this, 87 minutes of relentless pressure, missed chances, and a team in red shirts refusing to give up. That's exactly what Celtic faced against St Mirren in their Premiership opener. The champions looked like they'd been handed a golden opportunity to start the season strong, but St Mirren had other ideas. Goalkeeper Mark O'Hara made crucial saves, and Celtic's attackers, Benjamin Nygren, Rio Hatate, and Adam Ida, hit the woodwork time and again. Even Callum McGregor's goal was disallowed after a VAR review. But here's where it gets controversial. Was the disallowed goal a missed opportunity for Celtic, or a sign that their rivals were playing with the confidence of underdogs? The answer came in the 87th minute. Substitute Luke McCowan, fed by Daizen Maeda's clever pass, struck gold. His shot deflected off O'Hara's leg and nestled into the net like a perfectly timed punchline. Celtic manager Brendan Rodgers called it an excellent win, praising his team's persistence. But let's ask you, should a deflection like that be ruled a goal, or does it highlight the fine margins that define football? Hibernian's European hangover? Not so much. While Celtic were sweating it out at Parkhead, Hibernian made light of their recent Europa League exertions to hand Dundee a 2-1 defeat. The story here is Kieran Bowie, the Scottish forward who scored twice in just 3 minutes. It was a masterclass in finishing under pressure. Dundee, fresh off a demoralizing cup exit, fought back through Finlay Robertson, but Hibs' legs never wavered. Their manager, David Gray, called it a professional performance after the team had just played a grueling 120-minute match against Midtjylland. But this is the part most people miss. How do you manage a squad that's just played European football? Is it a badge of honor to compete internationally, or a recipe for domestic disaster? Dundee's new manager, Stephen Pressley, might have a few questions to answer after this one. Falkirk's comeback, a statement of intent. Newly promoted Falkirk made their return to the top flight after 15 long years with a 2-2 draw against Dundee United. The home crowd watched the championship flag unfurl before kickoff, a symbolic moment for a club hungry to prove itself. The match itself was a roller coaster. Max Waters opened the scoring for United, only for Dylan Tate to equalize. Ivan Dolchek restored United's lead, but Ethan Ross's deflected strike snatched a point for Falkirk. Manager John McGlynn called it a Premiership-level performance, pointing out that his players had already conquered League One and the Championship. But here's the kicker. Can a team really adapt to the top tier overnight? Or is this just the first chapter of a long, tough season? We'd love to hear your take. Drop a comment below and let's debate it out. So, What's the bigger picture here? These matches aren't just about points. They're about resilience, strategy, and the unpredictable nature of football. Was Celtic's late winner a triumph of grit or a lucky break? Did Hibernian's European run give them an edge or cost Dundee a chance to regroup? And can Falkirk truly compete at this level? The answers might just define the season. What's your view? Agree or disagree? We're all ears.